So you've decided to go on a healing journey, or like me, you've already been on it. And you've been doing the inner work and letting God peel back the layers and reconnecting to who you truly are. And then in all the excitement and the newness of things, you finally decide to go to the people closest to you. You share your breakthrough, your joy, your new direction, and they look at you like, okay, what's the big deal? Or worse, they pull away because they don't believe that you really changed, and they mock it or they misunderstand it or simply ignore it. And you're left feeling discouraged. And you start feeling like maybe this move wasn't just a moment from God. Maybe it was just you. And maybe this is not even like your purpose or anything like that. And then now the doubts start flooding back in. You start feeling inadequate all over again just because you didn't get the reaction you were expecting. Allow me to speak to you right now in that moment of doubt and feeling like you're pulling back into old habits. This is your journey, right? Not everybody is going to understand what it is you're trying to do, because it's not easy for you to go back to peeling back everything that you've had to learn over the years, for you to go back to owning who you truly are after all the noise, after being plugged in the matrix for way too long. So already you're battling with all of that. And then for you to feel like you're not getting the support that you deserve, especially from the people you're expecting to support you, it might feel very discouraging at times. But this is your journey, this is your vision, and only you would truly understand it. And I always say that you really can't control anything that happens outside of you, right? Number one, it's difficult for our own brains to comprehend anything that's new. Our brains are always trying to hold us back from doing things that are new, that we've never done before, because we have no evidence that it's going to work. So imagine if you're already constantly fighting with your brain and yourself. Anyone outside of you, how are you going to try and convince them that whatever you're thinking that they haven't done, that you haven't done, that no one that you know has done it? I mean, what are the odds, right? Imagine someone who hasn't lived through your pain, who hasn't felt what God has shown you, who doesn't have a clue what that healing is supposed to look like for you. One of the most powerful lessons I've ever received was from my uncle, Apostle Jala. I went to him because I wasn't quite clear and I wasn't quite sure of where I wanted to take Fit and Flourish and everything that I was doing as the business with my sister-in-law. I wasn't even quite sure where I was placing myself because I was going through quite a lot. In the month of February, my dad had been attacked. I lost my uncle, who was a father figure to me when I was growing up, and I just felt so lost. I just felt like everything was just happening to me all at once. At the same time, I had an event I had been promoting, I had already sold tickets for, lined up so many speakers to come and be guests at the event. And I was just there confused and I didn't even know what to do. And I went to speak with him, and he told me that the vision is always bigger than your circumstances. I needed a moment to let that sink in, because I was like, wait, what do you mean? Because I would have just assumed that canceling everything would be the best course of action based on what was happening in my life at the time. And then when you say that, your vision is always bigger than your circumstances, it made me realize that there's always something happening in life. There's always something. It's never been like everything is okay right now. Go and do it. It's always, you want to step out and do something and then something else happens. You want to drive your car and then turns out you don't have water in your car. That's a terrible analogy. That's all I can think of right now. When our stars ever aligned and something that we've always wanted to do? When has that ever happened? I don't know about you, but for me, things have never been like, oh, everything is ticking the box, so it's go time. It's always been, I'm seeing this vision. I feel like I need to do this. My soul is really fighting for me to get this idea out. Let me do it. And sometimes it's messy. Actually, most of the time it's messy. But then I know that I've got to do it anyway. And I still do it. So that statement from my uncle made me realize that if God has given you a vision, He's already factored in the rejection. He's already factored in any possible situation that could arise when you start this journey. That's why Habakkuk 2, verse 2 to 3 is one of my favorite verses. And it says, write the vision and make it plain. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will not delay. Because there is an understanding that we do get visions from God. All of us. Because again, I totally believe that we were all placed here for a reason. We've got a purpose for being here on earth and everything that we do. We're here for a reason. We were given a gift right there inside of us, logged right there inside of us. And because of the conditioning that we go through and lifing, we get to a point where we don't exactly remember who we are. We start going around life feeling like, oh, what am I doing here? I'm wasting away. I could be doing more. I could be running my own business if you're an employee and things like that. But it's because we haven't found ourselves. We're still buried in the noise. So write the vision and make it plain. That's something that I would ask you to take in the week. When you dream of something, because I totally also believe that God communicates with us through our dreams. And after reading books that my uncle wrote on dream interpretation and actually starting to pay attention to my dreams, I believe it. Now, maybe it's something that I can talk about later. But anyway, let's move on. But if you're healing in a room where no one is celebrating you and you're feeling discouraged, maybe your energy has changed now because you don't feel like you've got the support structures that you need. Maybe you've outgrown the environment that has wounded you. And that doesn't mean you're off track. That means you are in the process, because when you start healing, you're going to outgrow some environments, you're going to outgrow some people. And if you need a community that is going to be supporting you on this journey, I'm going to put a link to our free Fit and Flourish WhatsApp group. You can join us and then we can go on the journey together. We also have the Unshakable You membership that's mainly meant for our ladies. And we, on top of that, we actually have got a virtual experience that's coming up on August 26th. It's a 3-day virtual experience under Unshakable You, and that's only meant for women. So if you want a space that's just mainly meant for women that are striving to starting their own businesses, to get promoted in their workplaces and make a mark and actually start showing up as their true authentic selves wherever they are, and that in total alignment, be it doing their work, be it doing their job. Again, let me go back to that whole work job thing that I always keep doing. So a job is something that you are hired to do. They can fire you anytime and they can replace you in an instant. But your work is your purpose. It's something that you were born to do, something that comes naturally to you that you can just do easily, and something that you're beginning to take for granted because it comes so easy to you. That is your work. No one can hire you or fire you from the work that you're set on earth to do. So every time I'm talking about your work, I'm talking about when you start pursuing the gift that God has given you and you start going with it. It doesn't matter what people are going to say. And like I said earlier, it doesn't matter when you feel like you're not being supported with the people that you felt like should have been supporting you, because that is what you're meant to be doing. It's your work and you have to keep going. So if you want to be in an environment where you are going to have that support when you start doing your work and you start talking about what your work is, what that vision is, then you might want to join us in Unshakable You. If you're a woman, if you're a man, there's a wider free community that everybody can join in. Unshakable You is a paid membership. But for the people that are going to join us for the virtual experience, you automatically get the bonus. That's if you're one of the first 5 people to pay for it. You get a bonus to being in the membership for free. So I'll be so excited to see you in there. So remember that while you're measuring your journey by what people say or how they react, God is measuring you by who you're becoming. You were set apart before they misunderstood you. That comes from Galatians 1:15. God who set me apart from my mother's womb. So you didn't start your journey to be understood. You started it to become whole. Okay, so that's why you still need to show up. That's why I will still show up no matter what people are going to say, no matter if I feel like I'm not getting the support that I deserve, or you know the things that have drawn you back when you set out to doing something. All right. So I want you to learn to turn some of that feedback that you're getting from people that you didn't think, or maybe that you made derail you from what you're supposed to be doing. I want you to turn it into your fuel. They say something because they kind of misunderstand you, but you still go put yourself where you need to get to, do the work that you need to get to do, and then show up anyway. Because remember, the vision is yours. Only you understand what that vision is. And it doesn't matter what's happening around you. The vision should always remain bigger than your circumstances. So I know I just went straight into this video without even introducing myself. So hi, if you're new here, my name is Kuda and welcome to the Quest Finders. I call it the Quest Finders because every time I am dealing with something in my life, I look for verses that support that situation. And I also go on a quest to finding what it truly means for me in my life. I've also co-founded a community called Fit and Flourish that I am taking care of with my sister-in-law. And we also have a safe space we've created for women called Unshakeable You. We also have a membership that's a paid membership, and it's currently £5 a month. But the good news is, if you join our virtual event that's starting on the 26th of August, I can't speak, 26th of August, for 3 days, it's a 3-day virtual experience, you will automatically get a bonus of joining the membership for free. So I'm so excited. If you're going to join us, that'll be so great. We have experienced tremendous growth when we started working together, my sister-in-law and I. And we want to get to a point where we're in a world where we are empowering each other and we're helping each other get the tools that we need for us to elevate ourselves, for us to become the vision of ourselves we know we are meant to be. So from November last year up until now, this is August, we have worked with over 100 clients, that's men and women included. And we've had 2 in-person events, one in Zimbabwe and one in the UK. And we've also held several virtual experiences. And all this to say, I don't think if I was doing this work alone, I would have been talking about all these results. I've also gone from 91 people to over 100 people overnight on this channel, on this YouTube channel. So I know the work that we are doing has been making such a difference. And I know once you start, you can't lose the momentum. We've actually held a class called Stop Stopping, where we're talking about when you start, you just keep going and then the momentum will just get you going. And oh gosh, and if you want to get out of a cycle where you started something in the past, you started a business and it just didn't work out, and you tried something else and then it didn't work out, and then you were thinking, oh my gosh, why me? These are the kind of classes you should be joining because they'll definitely help you. They've definitely helped me. They've definitely helped my sister-in-law. We are seeing so many incredible results in our lives. So I'm so excited to have some of you join our safe space for women, as well as our wider community that's for both men and women. That's the Fit and Flourish community, and Unshakeable You is just for women. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead of you. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I promise I'm going to start bringing on guests that can speak to certain aspects that make our day-to-day life. So if you've got any topics at all that will fall under wellness, fitness, nutrition, mental health, let me know. I will look for the kind of people that can spare their time and come talk to us about it. So just let me know. And be sure to follow me on my socials. I'll put all of that in the description below.